What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So we're going to be talking about something that's very, very important today, and I'm probably going to be talking about this for the next couple of months because this is a serious situation. We're talking about the debt ceiling, raising the debt ceiling. And basically what this means is Congress spent money already, okay, or they have money set to be spent, and you have to raise the debt limit in order to allow this to occur. If you do not raise the debt limit, if you don't raise that debt ceiling, then we're in a situation where we default. And if we default and we don't pay our bills, then that will hurt us all as a country. Our credit rating will suffer, our global credit rating will suffer, as well as this could push us into a deep recession if this is not addressed. And so the reason that I want to talk about this is because President Biden a couple of days ago, he mentioned this. He was talking about the Republicans and the Democrats. And sure, you can say that the president's trying to put fear in people so they'll vote for Democrats. But we really need to look at this because this could be a tactic. This could be a tactic. And do you want to take that chance and allow the GOP, allow Republicans to be in a situation where they can use this debt limit? Now, I'll talk a little bit more about this, but use this debt limit in order to get what they want when it comes to making cuts to Social Security, making cuts to Medicare, making cuts to some of the other things that have been addressed in the last couple of years. And so that's what we're going to talk about today. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit that little bell notification, and then click all. That way you'll get notified anytime I put out videos. I put out a video every day, so you should be getting daily notifications. Also, please consider sharing this content with your family and your friends if you think they might benefit from what we talk about here. Okay, so I want to go over to this article first, and then we'll talk a little bit about what's going on when it comes to this whole situation. So this is the Washington Post, and the title reads, GOP debt ceiling threats set to revive brinksmanship with White House. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about how this can affect people receiving Social Security, how this can affect people receiving Medicare, how this can affect people who have seen some of these recent bills go through. We can even talk about the student loan cancellation. All these things can be cut, and the way that they can be cut is by using the debt ceiling as leverage. Okay, and this is what the fear is. The fear is that if, and this is Kevin McCarthy here, a picture of Kevin McCarthy, he is not ruling out cutting Social Security and Medicare, okay? Now, he has kind of pushed back on this and said that he never said that that's his plan, and here's the portion here. And the Washington Post reports here, McCarthy expected to become House Speaker if Republicans win that chamber. So if they win the House, he's going to be the Speaker. So he'll take over what Nancy Pelosi is doing now. He left open the possibility of pushing for Medicare and Social Security changes when asked by Punchbowl News this month, but then later stressed to CNBC that he had never mentioned those programs. Okay, so basically he's saying that he didn't mention those programs, but the Punchbowl News is saying that he did. So it's kind of it's up in the air, right? We don't know what's going on when it comes to Social Security and Medicare, but we do know that the Republican platform, they want to reform Social Security, privatize Social Security. They want to do something when it comes to Social Security, have a situation where every 5 years you need to look into Social Security to see if it's still viable or see if we still need a Social Security program. And so this is a big fear. This is a big fear. Now, what they would do, because of the raising the debt ceiling, it has to go through Congress. What could potentially happen? Let's say the Republicans take over the House, just the House. They don't even have to take over the Senate. Let's say they take over the House. Well, now they can use that as leverage, and they can say, we're not going to move forward with raising the debt ceiling unless you cut this program, you cut this program, and you cut this program. And if the White House doesn't, if the president doesn't agree to cut those programs, then guess what? Now we're going to have an issue where we're going to default. and that will definitely have a major impact on every American, okay? Let alone the situation if we're cutting programs, that's going to have a major effect on Americans. And so this is this is one of those things that's very, very crucial, and we need to pay attention to what's going on. And the Republican Party they've talked about the want to make changes. And so I think the first thing that they would do is they're going to look at some of these previous bills that have already been passed, and they will start attacking those bills and trying to cut those programs. Because the way that it works is you've already spent the money, or you've already said this is what we're going to do, but you need the funding. Okay, and you need that funding. You need to raise the debt ceiling in order to allow for that funding to happen. But if you don't raise the debt ceiling, that funding will not happen, and those programs will pretty much not have any money to go anywhere. Okay, so that's pretty much what we're looking at. Very, very dangerous, very, very serious situation. The president did mention it. We don't know exactly what the Republicans want to do, because they haven't put out a detailed plan on how they want to change what's going on when it comes to the different, what they want to put forward when it comes to different bills and things like that. They haven't put out a detailed plan. They put out a one-pager, but that's it. That's all we know. We don't have any more information as far as what they want to do. And so this is a very, very serious situation. But one thing, and this is the White House is basically saying that they're not going to do this, or they're not talking about doing this. But what could potentially happen is that, let's say the House is taken over by the Republican Party, and let's say the House and the Senate, both the House and the Senate are taken over. It's likely, very likely, that the House will move to the Republican Party. Okay, the Senate. Now looking at it, the Senate, it's a 50-50. It's very, very close. And we're going to have to see if the Senate goes to Republicans as well. But nonetheless, all you need is one chamber. Let's say that happens in November on the midterm election. What will probably happen, and what they will be pushing for, the Democrats will be pushing for, is raising the debt ceiling this year. So during the lame duck Congress, like I've been talking about this for a while, there's going to be a lame duck Congress, so they're not really going to move on any major legislation. But this might be one. This might be one because they need to get the debt ceiling raised before January, because that's when the new Congress comes in. If they wait until January and the new Congress comes in, that's when they can use this as leverage. That's when Kevin McCarthy as a speaker can use this as leverage and try to cut some of these different programs. And so we might see that happen. If the House goes to Republicans, then we will see Democrats push to get something done when it comes to the debt ceiling, raising the debt ceiling this year before 2023. And so the only issue that we're going to have is in the Senate. The Senate, you need 60 votes to move forward with legislation, okay, in order to avoid the filibuster. And what they did last year when it came to the debt ceiling, they did a carve out so they avoided the filibuster. They said this is only a one-time thing. Senator Manchin and Senator Sinema said that they would allow this to happen, this one-time carve out. Well, we might need one more time carve out for this year. When it comes to the filibuster. If not, then they're going to need the 60 votes, or they're going to have to do it through reconciliation. They can do it through reconciliation, but it takes time to do it through reconciliation. And will they have that time? This would mean that they're going to have to get right on it right after the election. They're going to have to be moving towards a reconciliation if that's the situation. But they're still going to need Senator Manchin and Senator Sinema to come on board to get the 50 votes that they need in order to move forward with a reconciliation to raise the debt ceiling. So this is one of those things we're going to really, really need to watch, and we're going to have to continue to see what's going on because this can have major implications when it comes to Social Security and when it comes to Medicare. And although Republicans have not really come out either for or against cutting Social Security, anytime that is addressed, anytime that Republicans have been called on cutting Social Security, they always say, no, we're not saying that we want to cut Social Security, but we want to make sure we monitor it a lot closer. Or so basically, they want to look into the spending. And if you're looking into the spending, usually you're going to find some things that you're going to want to cut. Okay. And so this is something that we need to follow, definitely need to follow. And I just wanted to bring this information to you. It was mentioned a couple of days ago by the president, so I just thought it's something that I should at least let you guys know this is what they're talking about, okay? And then we'll just have to move from there. Now, if we were in a situation where Kevin McCarthy was saying, no, this is not true, we're not going to cut Social Security, I would think that he would come out and say specifically, we're not cutting Social Security. Matter of fact, we want to expand Social Security. But we're not hearing that. We're not hearing that definitive, we're not going to cut Social Security. We're not going to cut Medicare. We're not going to look at the prescription, because this is another thing. The negotiating prescription medication, they're not talking about that as well. If there's no funding for that, then guess what? That can't move forward. Because the Democrats just passed that bill to negotiate drug prices. Well, that will go nowhere if the debt ceiling is not addressed this year. So anyway, I just wanted to put this video out, quick little video. If you guys have any questions, post it down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.